All right, let's try this again. The main event, my bad, guys. First of all, wasn't trying to do that on purpose or anything. I don't know exactly what happened. I recorded the whole video together, and then just this fight didn't have any audio, so kind of confused what the issue was. But we're gonna get it over with, break down this fight right now, and man, the main event. We all are excited for this fight. It's a rematch. Seemed like it kind of had to happen after the first fight was a little bit controversial. A lot of people felt like Alexander Volkanovski could have gotten the nod in that fight, and it went Islam's way. And obviously, we were supposed to watch Charles Oliveira versus Islam on Saturday, but Charles had to pull out and couldn't have gotten much of a better replacement for Islam and Alex Volkanovski. And you got to hand it to Alex Volkanovski for even accepting this fight. I kind of feel a little bit bad for him that he has to fight Islam in this rematch under these circumstances where he's had an abbreviated less than 10-day training camp. He's having to go all the way to Abu Dhabi to fight on Islam's home soil, so to say, and he is coming off a injury and surgery. So I don't know if this is the optimal circumstances for Alex to come back and fight Islam. I think that it's commendable that he's doing it, but I wish he would have had a full training camp and better circumstances to have a better chance at victory. And Islam, he hasn't fought since that Alex fight. He's been chilling on the sidelines, waiting for this Abu Dhabi card. He had this date for months in his head that he was going to fight on this date. So he's going to be peaked. He's going to be primed and ready to show up at his optimal for that date, which is a big advantage for him. And I think there's several things that are big advantages for Islam in this fight that he didn't have in the last fight. I mean, just right away, when you look at where the fights took place, the last time it was in Australia. So obviously in Alexander Volkanovski's backyard, he had the crowd on his side. He didn't have to travel. He rolled out of bed and went to fight. And Islam had to travel all the way to Australia. And in Australia, they had different weight cutting rules. So I believe Islam had 12 less hours to rehydrate than he will have in Abu Dhabi. And I think in Abu Dhabi, they even give him more time than they usually have. So Islam's going to have a lot of time to get really big, rehydrate to his 100%, or at least as much as he can. And that's a big advantage. I mean, if you're not as hydrated, you're having to kind of sneak an IV. Apparently, maybe he did that. And you have 12 less hours to rehydrate. You're a big guy for 55s. That could be a big factor in the fight. And obviously, Islam won the first fight even regardless with all those issues. So I feel like he is the rightful favorite in this one. And when I watched the fight live, I actually thought Alex won. But when I rewatched it, I did give it to Islam. And how they fought when they matched up, it was a really interesting fight. I mean, it was a tactical fight, more low volume on the feet. Neither guy really committed too much throughout the fight. There was a lot of feints and waiting on the outside. And I think Islam really benefits from that type of slower paced fight because he's not quite as good of a striker as Volkanovski, but Volkanovski has to respect the wrestling of Islam, so it nullifies a lot of Volkanovski's offense. He also is southpaw, so Volkanovski didn't get the leg kicks off. There was really no way for him to throw leg kicks on Islam either, and he really only had success in that fight, Alex, on the feet with those switch stance crosses down the middle, the switch stance left cross. He landed that several times. It seemed like he kind of caught Islam by surprise with that strike. I don't know if Islam just wasn't ready for him to switch southpaw, but obviously in this fight, they're probably going to have a little bit better read on Alex's offense on the feet, what he liked to do from the first fight. And Islam proved himself in that fight that with his length and his ability to land that counter left hook or the counter right hook and the left straight right down the pipe, he could hurt Alex. He sat him to a knee a couple different times, and when they had the exchanges in the pocket, it seemed like Islam got the better of it. He had the power edge, so that makes it a difficult fight for Alex because, man, I mean, if he can't sit in the pocket and exchange with Islam and get the better of it there, if he's getting rocked and he doesn't have the kicks on the outside, he's going to have to rely on those blitz attacks getting in and getting out. And that just gives the opportunities for it to be a low volume fight and for Islam to get a couple takedowns, and that's the difference in the match. So ultimately, I think it's still a hard matchup for Alex. It's a really hard matchup, and Islam, he did, I think, get surprised by the strength of Volkanovski in the first fight. I don't think he thought that it was going to be quite as hard to control Volkanovski or take him down. Even though when Islam did take him down, Volkanovski, for all the good defensive work he did, he barely ever got up. I mean, almost every time he got taken down, he got backpacked and got controlled for the whole round. And you could argue that Islam was just holding, but when you have that back mount, man, I mean, one mistake from your opponent and he's getting his neck choked. So obviously that's why Alex has to respect that position and stay in that position for the whole round. And I don't get how some people could say, oh, because Alex is throwing these pitter-pat punches behind his head, he's winning the round. Like, that's ridiculous to me. Like, I think sometimes, man, it's like, I get it. You want to, say damage is more important than control, but it gets ridiculous sometimes, man. It's like where if you take down a guy, you're holding him down for 4.5 minutes and the guy's throwing baby punches at you, you're going to say the other guy won the round. Like, to me, that makes no sense. But yeah, so I just feel like Islam, if he gets the takedown and gets the back again, he's going to be able to control the position again, and maybe he won't submit Volkanovski or get even close, but I think he can ride it out. And I don't think he's going to get quite as tired in this fight as he did the last one. I think the last fight with Alex, I think he might have underestimated him a little bit, man. I think he thought that Alex was going to be a lot smaller guy, a lot weaker guy. I think he thought he was going to be able to get him out of there, manhandle him. And Alex showed him, I'm an all-time great. I'm a guy that you're not just going to run through. I'm right here with you. And I think Islam now in this fight is going to know that, and he's going to know that he's going to be in there for a harder fight. I don't see him gassing out quite as bad as he did the first one. And another thing to know about that last fight, that was the first time Islam ever went 25 minutes. So that was good experience for him to figure out he could do that, and now maybe he'll have even more confidence in those championship rounds. And you could never count out Alex Volkanovski. I mean, the guy's one of the best of all time. The last time he fought Islam, no one gave him a chance, and he almost pulled off the upset. But I think this is much harder circumstances for him to come in here and win. I mean, short notice, coming off of surgery, just fought 3 months ago, a little over 3 months ago, whereas Islam has been resting for the whole year since that fight with Alex, getting ready for this exact date. Islam is going to have more time to rehydrate after the weigh-in. He's going to have the crowd on his side. He's not going to have that crazy travel. He has the full camp. I just feel like Islam has all the advantages, and Islam won the first fight. So I don't get how someone could pick Alex here unless they just think that Alex learned something pretty significant from the first fight, or maybe they saw something in the fight that leans them towards Alex, but I'm not all the way there. And I feel like for Alex to win this fight, he has to be more aggressive. He has to kind of say, screw it. If I'm going to get taken down, I'm going to get taken down. I got to get in this guy's face. I got to throw higher volume. I got to try to make him work, and I got to really, really take risk in this fight. And I think that's how he's going to have to win. I don't think he's going to be able to win the fight with the game plan that he had in the last one, even though he made it very close with that game plan. I think Islam will have some counters for that. So ultimately, I think Islam is going to win via decision again. I think it might be a little bit easier in this one, and I wish it was more optimal circumstances for Volkanovski to take this fight, but ultimately, I think Islam Makhachev is going to retain the title, go 2-0 on Islam, and kind of put it, or go 2-0 on Alex, kind of put Alex in his rearview mirror. So there you have it, guys. Thanks for watching. As far as my part of the week and my most confident pick goes, for my most confident pick, I guess I'll say it is Ikram Aliskerov. And for my part of the week, I'll go with Ikram Aliskerov, Javid Basharat, and Victoria Dudakova. So thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the full card breakdown. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. And make sure to give it a like. Make sure to watch it. Hopefully you guys don't get confused and missed this one, but I'm going to put it in the comments on my original video, and hopefully everyone will find it. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. I'll be back soon breaking down another UFC fight card, and I'll talk to you guys later.